Hello, I am Professor Vishala Patnam, Child Development Expert. I'll be speaking about 20 key needs of children which will make them have balanced and wholesome development to become productive and responsible citizens of the country. It is the diagram of wholesome development. There are 8 components. Based on my prolonged research experience and the experience gained by guiding and counseling thousands of children in the Child Guidance and Counseling Clinic, I have shortlisted 20 important key needs of children. If these needs are well taken care of by the families and by the schools, I am sure the children will never have any type of developmental and personality disorders. They will have optimum development and will become healthy, happy, and more successful individuals. Let us see the key needs of children one after the other. The first and foremost one is healthcare, nutrition, immunization, personal hygiene, including oral hygiene, environmental hygiene, toilet training, and medical care. Second, conducive home environment. Third, stimulatory learning environment. Fourth, periodic assessment of child's development. Fifth, social and emotional security. Sixth, disciplined lifestyle includes time and activity management. 7. Quality education includes schooling and special coaching in games, sports, fine arts, etc. 8. Introduction to hobbies and activities. 9. Personal grooming. 10. Guidance on life skills. 11. Inculcation of values and virtues. 12. Quality time with family, friends, and relatives. 13. Recreation. 14. Rest and balance. 15. Well ventilated home space. 16. Age appropriate clothing and footwear. 17. Sufficient play material. 18. Introduction to gardening and animal care to develop empathy and other life skills. 19. Emergency preparedness. 20. Development of self-esteem of children. I shall explain all these 20 key needs in brief now. Under the key needs of children, healthcare comes first. Under healthcare, children's nutrition comes again first. Children's food intake must be supervised well, and we must see that the food intake is meeting the nutritional requirements of the children as per their age, because with the increase in age, the children's nutritional requirement also increases. Proper nutrition of children is required for body building, to have adequate growth as per their age, for its maintenance, for its activities, and also to perform the routine activities. Children require adequate input of food. They must have 3 to 4 meals in a day, and their diet must have balanced nutrients with quality. Nutrition also is required for the proper maintenance of health, because healthy mind lives in healthy body. So nutrition not only for body building and performing activities, but it also is required for maintenance of good health. During childhood, children attend schools. Because of ill health, if they miss out from the school or miss out any activities, they lag behind, and later that may lead to inferiority complex or feeling of inadequacy in children. Immunization of children is another important part of health care. Children must be immunized on a priority as per the immunization schedule at right age and in right doses. They also must be given boosted doses. Once we give vaccination to children, they develop resistance capacity against various diseases and infections. It is just like nectar, amrut. Once they take nectar, people say that they don't die. Similarly, the child who is immunized properly will have proper resistance and hardly falls sick. That is why, to protect health of the child, it is the important responsibility of the family to see that all the vaccinations should be given to the children. They also must be checking, because this immunization schedule every year keeps changing, because new vaccination come into the market because of the advancement in science. All those vaccinations also, as per the recommendations of the doctor, must be given to the children on a priority. They should not neglect it. Personal hygiene is very important. Personal hygiene for me, it includes from head to toes. Children must be given 2 to 3 times bath. They must change their clothing, inner garments and outer garments. Trimming of nails should be done periodically, because they are in growing age. Their nails tend to grow faster. They must have adequate oral hygiene. The gums care, teeth care, tongue care is very important. Children must be taught to keep proper oral hygiene or to maintain oral hygiene just before having food and after having food. Once they have good oral hygiene, children feel very fresh. That is why parents should not overlook or neglect the children's oral hygiene. They must have 2 to 3 times brushing in a day, at least in the morning and before going to the bed. After every meal, children must rinse their mouth with mouth freshener or at least with little salt water, so that they can maintain good oral hygiene. Family and the schools must see that they inculcate proper good habits and healthy habits in children. Once they'll develop in childhood properly all these healthy and good habits, lifelong it stays with them. Next is environmental hygiene. Also matters a lot after personal hygiene. If they are clean and the children play in unhygienic environmental spaces, they tend to fall sick or get infected. Because of that, wherever children sleep, play, work, study, carry out their activities, wherever they play, all those activity spaces and playgrounds, classrooms, the children's rooms, whether it is a study room or their bedrooms, all must be kept very clean. Once they have clean environment, children also enjoy their activities and hardly fall sick. Afterwards, toilet training. Toilet training is very important one, not only in the aspect of health care of children, but also for the good personality development of children. There is lot of research evidence that the way we toilet train children will have an impact on children's personality development. That is why children must have proper timings for toilet needs. They must be trained and educated where to urinate and where to defecate and how to clean their bodies. Not only cleaning their bodies, but also they must be educated to flush the toilets well before leaving the toilet. These are all very important one under toilet training, because toilet training is very important for the healthcare, the input and output. Whatever the food we consume, after it goes through the processes, the waste products of the food must be defecated, excreted from the body. That is why always there is an indication that if the person defecates and urinates very well at particular timings, tend to have good health status. Under health care, medical care also comes. Children frequently fall sick due to climatic changes, or if they are exposed to any kind of pollution or consume contaminated food or liquids. Children, whenever they fall sick, must be taken to the pediatrician or the family doctors, must be given proper medicine, diet and proper rest. How much they are susceptible to infections, that much also they have the ability to recover fast. That is why whenever children fall sick, without neglecting their ill health, their complaints, their health care must be taken care well by taking them to the doctors and giving them proper medical treatment, so that they recover faster and they do not miss out their activities or they do not miss their classes in the school. The second important key need of children is providing conducive home environment. In this, the very important one is the family members must be role models for children. They must have cordial relationships among them as well as with the child. They also must be working in a coordinated way, in a supportive way, without having any value clashes in raising the children. Along with that one, the family must have, the home must have routine activities. Even though with the flexibility, they must have nice activities, development oriented activities must be organized for children. Once children are taught, they get into their routine activities. So, in the home environment, the people play a very important role. They must have discipline, they must have good culture, they must have good relationships. They also must have a good routine which will be adding to the children's total development. In the physical component of home environment, play material, furniture, other things in the family, what they have at home, they must be well organized to generate interest in children in learning to do useful things. So play material, not only buying them, but organizing them, conducting useful activities out of those material. The other non-used material, indigenous material of the home also must be well utilized for children's activities. The third key need is stimulatory learning environment, stimulation. Child must be stimulated, motivated, inspired to learn to do things mostly practically on their own with adequate guidance, support and freedom. When we provide stimulatory learning, an integration of these senses is very important in the learning process. Once we provide stimulatory learning environment by providing adequate activities with adequate play and educational learning material, children learn faster, children learn effectively, children learn meaningfully. That is why they understand it better and it stays with them for longer periods of time.
The more the family members get involved, the quality of their interactions with the children makes a big difference in child's development. That is why the family members, in a coordinated way, should get involved in all child care activities so that the child enjoys the activities and develops very nicely.
Providing stimulatory environment with proper freedom and opportunities. In children's birthdays, their priorities, their interests must be valued and it should be celebrated in a simple way. In their birthdays, children's friends are more important than others. Children enjoy make believe play and playing skits. Fourth important need is periodic assessment of child's development. Children's development must be assessed at least once in 6 months, if not once in 3 months. If it is not possible, at least once in a year, children's GQ, growth quotient, IQ, intelligence quotient, and other components also, like 8 components, physical, motor. I'll be showing you the diagram of 8 components. All those components must be assessed by the child development expert or any other experts related to the field. After the assessment, parents will understand that whether the children's development is normal or below normal or above normal. Above normal is extraordinary. So, in every level, parents must take suitable action in order to inspire, motivate the child to do better in his life. So, growth assessment can be done by the children themselves or by the family members. They are measuring their height and body weight and head circumference. The fifth important need is social security and emotional security of children. What is social security? Social security means children must have family members where they can trust and express their pain, express their views, express their ideas, express their experiences in the family and outside the family in the schools. Because of that, parents must have warm relationships. They must maintain warm relationships with the children. Not only parents, grandparents and other adults in the family, whether siblings, aunts and uncles, they must share, they must maintain a cordial or a warm relationship with children so that the children feel happy to express themselves and they do not hesitate to express their pain or discomfort or if they require any kind of help in carrying out their routine activities. Similarly, in the school also, the school must have advisors. Advisors are not routine teachers. They will play a more like a mentor role to the children. So every class, they must be divided, at least 15 to 20 children must be attached to a teacher irrespective of their class, so that they can have a cordial bonding with the teacher whenever whatever they have doubts or problems, that can be spoken to the teachers and they can settle it, resolve those problems. Similarly, the child also must have good friend circle. Parents, if the child is not having friend circle, parents must see that one, they can invite the children whom they like or the child likes, and try to build up a social network, social support network, organizing small get together parties, or having small certain games also. Children love to have games, and giving them gifts whether they win or lose the game, so that they will have a relationship with our child. So parents should make deliberate attempt to expand, to have a good network of friends circle for their own daughter or son. Apart from the friend circle, they also must have playmates, companions in the colony, in the school. Children need friends, playmates of different age groups for caring and sharing. Once the children belong to a group, that group belongingness provides them social and emotional security. That is why having squads are very important, and having student advisors is very important, that formal groups in the school, children will not have any socio-emotional problems. What is emotional security? Emotional security comes from the social security. Once they have good social security, the child feels emotionally secured. Apart from the social security, in the emotional security, parents can have physical bonding, cuddling the child. Sometimes when the child is sleeping, hugging the child for a few minutes. When the child is stressed out, in angry mood, cuddling them, either by the father, by the grandparents, any family members, mother, this hug of or cuddling the child provides a lot of security, emotional security to the child. It is not all the time meeting the children's materialistic demands, but it is emotional demands, like I am with you. The child must feel that one, my parents, my family, my friends, my classmates are with me in my critical situation. So hugging is very important, and the hugging also, there should be a decent hug and a bad hug. This also is very important. How the parents hug, the child also must know outside. The strangers should not hug them, should not touch them, and what is a best touch, what is a bad touch. These are also, there are nice videos available. Those things also very, without developing negative attitude in children, in a positive way, scientific way, we have to guide children what is an affectionate touch, what is an indecent touch, what is a bad touch also should be known to the children. So emotional, to have emotional security, parents can, whenever they are upset, hugging them, kissing them on their forehead, on their cheek, sometimes feeding them when they are upset. If they say they don't want to have food, you not telling them that one, come on, I will tell you a nice story or my experience when I was in a school. You can build up some imaginary stories, even though it has not happened in your life. Make it very natural, and from that the child can learn good lesson. So developing some stories and making that if the child encounters any bad situation, that is not only he in this world encountering, there are many children, even you yourself also was a victim of certain bad situations, bad experiences in our life. So how did we coped with that? So we have to educate children in that way so that the child feels secure. So please take care of the socio security and emotional security. You can also call it as a socio emotional security of children. If children have this, they can save a lot of time. Otherwise, once they are mentally disturbed, they'll be wasting a lot of their productive time on these silly issues or in solving such problems than solving their and focusing on their school matters, academic things. So if the child has to study well, if the child has to acquire curricular and co-curricular abilities and skills, they also must have good social and emotional security. Sixth important key need is having disciplined lifestyle, which means every child must have timetable of the routine activities from the time they get up till they go to bed. All those activities must be jotted down, and for every activity time allocation is very important one, and there can be some flexibility based on the need and circumstance. Because of that, parents and children must have a free talk. Parents have a greater role to play in educating the children how their wakeful hours, when they wake up, so that daytime how best they can utilize to perform their activities and also to play nicely and also to pursue their hobbies and any interests if they have. So this disciplined life does not mean that one punishments, it is more planning, organizing, monitoring and evaluation. So every day before going to the bed, the child should check what are the activities, what was my timetable, what was the variation in it, how much variation was really acceptable one, it was genuine, and which was little indisciplined way it went, and how they had to make up on the next day, following day, or the next week or in that week. So this all is their accountability of time and accountability to their work. If that is inculcated in childhood, so they become self-disciplined. Self-discipline is the first stepping stone for achieving great success. The seventh key need is quality education. Very important, because the quality education only decides the future success of the child. Here, the quality of education, there is no end and there is no fixed parameter what is quality education. Parents and the family members must try their best. What are the best schools available? It is not the fee of the school, what are the facilities, how are the teachers, how do they train and educate children for their wholesome development. So parents must see that what are the best they can provide. Here they should not be economic, they should be a bit liberal, they should use all their financial resources for giving best quality education in childhood. Later, even though they don't bother that much, the child, because he has basics and his foundation is so good, later the child also can pick up on his own, on her own, many abilities later, because once the foundation is done well, that is why the parents must see that when the child goes to the best primary school, best preschool, best high school, and best junior colleges. Here they should not have compromise. When children have wholesome development, they can achieve more in life. Eighth key need is children must be introduced to various hobbies, cultural events, games, and sports. Sometimes parents tend to close the child only for academic. They want them to become best academic achievers, but they don't allow them to play, they don't allow them to pursue any hobby. That is more dangerous for their personality development. Such children will never become successful and happy individuals in future, in adult life. Please see that one. Children have at least 22 to 30% time for developing good habits which will be very useful for their co-curricular activities in the school, or even to have alternative jobs to take up in future. So that basis should be laid down. Children must have A, B, C, D. Always I tell them that one, they must have 5 goals for their career. If I don't become A plan does not become successful, B does not become successful, C, otherwise my D plan and E plan. Out of this, one or other definitely clicks. Let them not have only one plan. That leads to frustration, that leads to committing suicides, so many problems to the child, to the family, and to the society. So children need to participate in co-curricular activities. Ninth key need is personal grooming. Personal grooming includes how to dress up, how to do the personal makeup, how to have their nice hairstyle, and how to carry out themselves, how to sit, how to stand, how to walk, how to talk, how to behave inside the family, outside the family, in a socially acceptable way, and not inviting any problems to themselves. So here the decency, decent dressing style also is very important. Children must be taught not to attract others' attention too much for the way they dress up and hairstyle. Sometimes having abnormal dressing and abnormal hairstyles just to attract others' attention, that is also is most dangerous one. 10th important key need is guidance in life skills. Children should be guided, educated, and given ample opportunities to develop life skills. Simple, it can start even simple activity, how to sweep their rooms, how to sweep the house, how to swab, how to clean, how to wash their clothes, how to wash their school bags, shoes, socks, how to cook along with the parents. They can become assistant cook in the kitchen on holidays, or whenever they are bored. Children can enter the kitchen and learn how to cut the vegetables, how to fry, how to assist mother, grandmother, or the maid in cooking, so that they are familiar with the process of cooking food. Wherever it is possible, whenever it is possible, they also can extend help. Suppose if mother is making chapatis, some dough, whether it is a boy or a girl, cooking is not gender oriented work. It is a life skill. So all the household activities outside, shopping, how to shop the vegetables, how to shop the provisions, how to buy the medicine. When they're buying the medicine, they have to check the manufacturing date, expiry date, how to check the bill and how to pay, all these small things, how to do the banking whenever we go to the banks, post office, how to fill up those forms, how to save. Even if they have pocket money, let them have a small bank account, let them put and withdraw the money. They can have their own ATM card. If they have little bit more money, pocket money, they can have their own ATM. So that what happens is, when they have a responsibility of doing it, they know how much pain it takes, how much effort it takes, how much no energy it requires to perform that particular activity. If they don't do that work, they take it for granted, it's so easy. When the children do household chores and shopping, banking, even the gardening work, watering the plants, filling up water, filling the tanks, when the guests come, treating the guests, serving food, all these things make the child to have proper insight. What effort goes in, how much energy, how much time is consumed in doing that, what is the skill and what is the talent they require for performing that particular activity. They develop empathy, and they develop the insight how to develop that skill and the ability to perform that particular task. Even simple cleaning, sweeping, or making a simple chapati to make. When the children have chapatis, when they are having food, some children grumble, oh, this chapati is like this, oh, this vegetable is made like this. You tell them that one, tomorrow come into the kitchen and you make, I will assist you. Then they know the hard work goes in and what effort goes in, so that when they have that empathy, they will be very careful in giving their compliments, remarks. Their acceptance level also increases when they do. And when somebody does not do well or somebody does well, they give the compliment, appreciation also. Not only accepting when things go wrong, but when the things go right and they're better than the ordinary things, they understand and they learn to appreciate. Accepting, appreciating also is very important part of life. Inculcation of values and virtues. When I was dealing with the other needs of children, directly and indirectly, virtues and values also have come. But the most important things must be taught in childhood is, children must have dignity of labor. They must learn to do any kind of work which is done by the parents. The child should never feel below dignity to carry out that work. The second one is value for their family work. If they're business people, they must have value for that, respect for that. They should not underestimate the parental or their family occupation. They must learn whatever it is, that occupations, things along with their education. Self-respect. Not too much demanding, not too much depending on others. As per their age, they should be able to do their work as much as possible on their own. They also must have value for their own self, love for the self. Once they have love for the self, they keep developing their self, so that when they progress, family members, teachers, everybody feels proud of them. So value for the self-respect, self-esteem, and giving importance to the one's own capabilities than what amount of property they have, what are their parental position, or grandparents, any other person. So their capabilities, what am I, what is in me, is more important than what is with me and what I have on me. 12th important key need is quality time with family, relatives, and friends. This includes even in the disciplined routine, at least 5 to 10 minutes. Some game, some chat, the family must have at least 5 to 10 minutes before going to bed or in the morning. They must have a free chat to express their experiences of previous day. That quality time, in that something should be sharing, learning, getting ideas how to solve those issues are very, very important. Quality, not just staying at home every day but not being with children is not important. So here in this quality time, I also want to focus on functions, especially birthdays must be as simple as possible. Birthday need not be given too much importance, and too many gifts are not important. Call their friends, children's friends, even in the family also. You have completed 1 year, you have grown 1 year older, so your responsibilities also increase, and this birthday is for self-evaluation and social evaluation. You also have to evaluate at the age of 6, what were you? 6 to 7, when the child becomes 6 years to 7, that 12 months, what did you do? What are the great things you have done? What are the bad things you have done? Or what are the mistakes you have done, and which where you will not repeat? How much you can avoid those mistakes, and how much you can improve yourself. So birthdays must be celebrated to give the feedback to the children, their positives first and the negatives very gracefully. Otherwise negatives can be, if the child can read and write, they can be written on their greeting card, but not just having expensive dresses and throwing big parties. So quality time is ask the children to list out 10 to 15 friends, their friends. Children's birthday, our friends need not come. Children's friends should come. At the same time, if those children's parents are your friends, you can invite them and you can have some games, parents separately, and organize certain things for children with the parents, and exclusively give them some free time for them to discuss. So now everybody has an Android phone, smartphones, they can also video shoot. Let everyone express about that friend, what do they feel, and what are the improvements, the suggestions, all those things also in a funny way and in a joyful way, in a more graceful way, they can discuss. So quality time should be parents also, in the when they spend time with the children, they also should talk about their childhood, what kind of limitations they had, what kind of privileges they had, how much another generation, what are the changes the generation has, how well they can utilize those available resources, privileges what they're getting now. So that is very, very important. Grandparents also can share their life experiences with the children, not talking about every time only studies, sharing their life experiences, because when they have grandparents at home, children can learn three generations, their generations, parents generation, and grandparents generation. So spending quality same way with the friends also, you have to give them some, just give some topics to the friends when they come home, organize certain nice games, or make them cook, provide the ingredients to them, so that friends also can have nice time. Just you be the assistant cook, let them make and enjoy. So in that, life skills, various capacities they can gain. So spending quality time is more important than just being with children for many hours and not educating them anything. 13th key need is providing recreation, meeting the recreational needs of children. It is very important. Recreation is very important for raising the physical and mental health status of a person. So for this, parents can show the films on TV, permit them to watch nice films which have very good educational value, so that they can have a very deep impact on their attitudes and interests and personality. They also can be taken on holidays based on the interests of children and possibilities to various places, historical places, religious places, even visiting their relatives in the rural area, urban area, inside the state, outside the state, outside the country. That will be very useful for them. 14th key need is rest and sleep. Rest need not be laying on the bed. It also can be just taking break. Taking break is very important. It revitalizes the mind, recharges the mind. Otherwise, our mind also, like a computer, gets jammed. So there must be proper rest between the activities. That is why even in the schools, intervals are compulsory, and after every period there is a bell. That few seconds, few minutes break also makes the child to get recharged. So rest is very important. Same way, sleep. Children must be taught early to bed and early to rise makes a person wise. That is should be. Whatever the culture changes, children must be motivated, guided to go to bed as early as possible after doing their essential work, and making them to get up early, and after getting up, instead of waking up the parents, they should get up and they should finish off their nature called business and sit for their studies. 15th key need is well ventilated home space is very important, because it is not what quality of food we eat, but what is the quality of air present in that room, in that classroom, in that school is very important. So wherever the children are studying, wherever the children are sleeping, doing their work, that rooms must have good ventilation. Good ventilation is proper lighting, proper air circulation, and maintenance of good temperature, not too cold, not too hot. Otherwise, children will not be able to concentrate on their activities and on their work. 16th key need is age appropriate clothing and footwear. Children grow very rapidly. That is why whenever we stitch or buy clothes for them, they should be bit loose and bit bigger, so that they don't outgrow fast, or the parents or the family members don't make them to wear tight clothes, because they're expensive, they're in good condition, only thing is they're very tight. Tight clothes will make children to feel very discomfort, they look odd in those clothing. Because of that, age appropriate clothing must be there. Similarly, footwear also. Age appropriate footwear. Childhood is fast growing age and play age, because they are very naughty and they play a lot. So their footwear should be, when they wear, it should be comfortable and it should be sturdy. They should not break, they should not worn out faster. If with a bad footwear, children also do not look nice and they also do not feel comfortable. That is why quality footwear suitable to the children's needs is very important. But children also must be educated how to take care of their footwear properly. Next key need is having sufficient play material. See that one, the children, their friend circle will not have same play material. If they have different play material, they can enjoy going to their homes. If one child has carom board, another child has chess, whenever they want to play chess, they get together in their place and they play. So group games, mostly see that one, that whatever the material they have, even the scrap words building, it's so easy. If they need not even purchase, they can make You can see my previous videos. I have given the examples in that. So play material, sufficient play material with variety is very important. Don't buy, all the friend circle should not buy the same one. They should have different play materials so that they can have fun. Along with in the play material, it is not only just play, they also can have piano, tablas, some musical equipment. Children also, this play material also can include educational material. Some of the educational material through play, they learn various concepts. They can have scientific kits, and friends also can come and have simple experiments. Otherwise, they have only tools. They can use the material available in the kitchen and they can conduct some experiments. So the play material is not just play, conducting small experiments and also learning music. They can have vocal music, instrumental music. For that required material also can be provided to them. Introduction to gardening and animal care. In childhood, every child must be made to plant a sapling and to take care of it and to care, if not a pet. Nowadays, because of infections, it is scared to have pets, at least street animals. In India, we have many street animals, cows, dogs, cats, they keep coming. Ask them to care them. Caring them at their leisure makes them to have empathy, makes them to have sympathy, makes them to have even scientific temper, scientific attitude, scientific abilities, because these are all very dynamic. Animals, trees, they keep changing, they keep developing. Every day there is a change in their behavior, in their growth, in their development. So this is not only a social service, but also children love a lot and learn many life skills from it. Make them to see my lessons from trees and plants. I made a beautiful video clip on it. 19th important need is preparedness of children to emergencies. Emergencies itself is unanticipated things happen. It may be an auto accident, their school bus accident, or suddenly there is a flood when they are in the school or when they are at home. What type of cautions, what type of strategies they have to use to cope up with that particular situation. Or if they find a person bleeding on the road, what should they do? Or if the tap breaks, at home or in the school, if the tap breaks and a lot of water is flowing out, what care should be taken, or what strategies they have to use to solve that problem. Ask the children to think of various emergency conditions, ask them what they will do and guide them, and appreciate if they give good solutions. Otherwise, guide them and give them many solutions. Not one problem will have many strategies can be useful in that particular situation, especially car accidents, auto accidents, school bus accidents, floods, earthquake, or a bad person entering, or if the child is kidnapped, or the child misses the bus, misses the train along with the family members. What should be the next strategy? All these things must be taught to them in the discussions or through story form. 20th last key need is self-esteem. Every child must feel proud of its own capacities. So you have to encourage the child to explore what all the positives he has and what are the limitations he has, and how he can cope up with those limitations. Everybody has positives and limitations also. So the child must learn to love and value the positive side, and also just acknowledge the limitations and how to cope up with those limitations, so that the child maintains their best level of self-esteem that makes him to become positive, creative, constructive, imaginative, and facing any kind of challenges with courage. I am sure if these 20 needs are well met by the families and the schools, the children will develop into very happy, healthy, productive, successful, and most responsible citizens of the country.